Hello, YouTube. Got out of work early enough, to where the sun is still up, so I can make a video. Got something to show you. It probably won't be able to see it where the shit. It's a painting. It's called the Raft of the Medusa, and if anyone's written a book about it, about the Medusa and the raft and the ordeal on the raft, I'm gonna have to find it and read that book, because I guess people's behavior when they're involved in some type of atrocity, to me, that's fascinating. But I bought a book called The Road to Verdun and the Folly of Nationalism. And if I would have sat down on a milk crate at King Book and looked this book over a little bit better, I probably wouldn't have bought it, because the entire thing is written from the French point of view. And the entire middle of the book, it's like 200 pages, is all this abstract ideas about how a nation views itself, and where they get these views from. And the wreck of the Medusa was a type of scandal in France. They fixate on these things. The Dreyfus affair was the same way. They fixate on these things. I had read about the Dreyfus affair before, but the guy's name is, the guy that painted it, his name's Garrigot or whatever. French names and French words always have, at least one or two letters that are just thrown in there for the fuck of it. You don't pronounce them. So if you try to pronounce the entire word, you're just being foolish. And I think I'm kind of getting the hang of which letters to leave off and which letters to pronounce as something completely different. But Garrigot, he was a young painter, and he decided to paint the Raft of the Medusa. And, according to the limited information I got just off of Google, he actually went to hospitals and stared at dead and dying people just so he could get the flesh tone just right. And part of that, Google even went on to say that he was allowed to bring severed limbs back to his place where he painted, the studio or whatever. And if you can believe what Google says, he even got a severed head from an asylum, and proceeded to sketch this severed head for a couple of weeks. But back to the book. The entire thing, 98% of it is written from the French point of view. And so you're only getting half the story. And I believe that the writer is also a Frenchman. So he's seeking to minimize any accomplishment that the Germans may have done, and make the Crown Prince look like a fool, and Hindenburg and Ludendorff make them look like fools. But it's not the first book I've read about Verdun, and you know, the fall of Fort Dumont is kind of a pivotal action in Verdun. Verdun went on for like 4 months. And this guy just, the book that I'm reading now, he just makes it seem like, you know, the Germans weren't even trying to capture the fort, and they were just kind of wandering around, and one of them decided to kick out a window, and boom, they captured the fort. That's not what I had read before. You know, what I had read before was, you know, this was a vision of hell, and very few Germans got in there, captured the fort. You know, explosions going off all over the place. You know, a toxic atmosphere from all the shells going off. Very Dante-esque was the vision I had of the capture of Fort Dumont. And then, if I'm not mistaken, you know, they had to give it up to a French counterattack very soon. This book tells a completely different story. So, I don't know, you know. Who knows, you know, something that happened. It's almost 100 years ago now. Who knows what happened when everyone's trying to make somebody look bad or somebody look good. It's amazing all the guys that were there at Verdun. De Gaulle was there. De Gaulle was captured, wounded and captured. Pétain was there. Heinz Guderian was there. So I'm going to slog through this book. I've got about 45 more pages in a chapter titled, What is a Nation? And then it gets back to the actual battle. Then it gets back to a chapter titled Holding Dumont. And I skipped forward a little bit, and I read, he starts out every chapter with a little quote from somebody. And I can't remember who this quote is from, but it's a French general. And the French general is saying, the first wave will be killed. The second wave will be killed. The third wave will also be killed. Some men from the fourth wave will reach the objective, and the fifth wave will capture the trench. So they, you know, if you ever wondered where the term cannon fodder came from, that's where it came from. Apparently, the 4-month battle between the two sides, the Germans lost slightly less, like 20,000 less. It was like 750,000 people, men, in 4 months. And man, they don't fight over very much. There's one map that shows the front lines at the beginning of the battle and the farthest penetration that the Germans make, and then the front lines at the end of the battle. And to me, it doesn't look like much. It's maybe 20 miles at the most. That's it. I'm going to sign up. Oh, just one more thing. It's kind of weird not having my computer at home. I'm like looking through a window at YouTube because I can look at and see what's going on at work. But at work, I can't watch videos. So I'm making very few comments. I'm thumbing up some comments, and I can see all the shit that's going on. And you know, sometimes I'll look at something and I'm like, damn, man, I wish I could see that. I'm even missing Side 10 Atheist videos. Those are usually good for a nice chuckle. But we did get our taxes done, so I got a little influx of money, a little bird's nest on the ground, so to speak. So I may be buying a new computer, because it looks like that's what I got to do. That's it. Signing out.